Well, joining me on that, our special guest tonight, I'm joined by Renuka Chaudhary, Congress spokesperson, but also former Minister for Women and Child Development. So lots of first-hand experience on the issues that are being brought up in this bill. Also with me, Najma Heptullah, senior BJP leader, former deputy chairperson of the Rajya Sabha. I'm also joined by Madhu Kishwar, a well-known activist, Kirti Singh, senior advocate and also convener of the All India Democratic Women's Association, and somebody who's gone through divorce herself, Suchitra Krishnamurthy, actor and singer. Thank you all very much for joining me tonight. Najma Heptullah, I'll go across to you really as the voice and the very strong voice of the opposition first to this bill. I think it's really that united opposition which has got the government to concede that they will look at these views and bring them in as amendments to the current bill. Are you satisfied that the real issues are now being addressed, or will you continue, as the opposition has been saying, talk about this bill as being too easy, as a kind of fast track to divorce?
You see, I had two objections. My first objection was that there should be a cooling period. And so the government has almost agreed for the cooling period. My second objection was, and that of Mr. Arun Jaitley also spoke on it, was about the economic support for the women, divorced women. Because what package they are going to get. And I told the government and I told the minister that if you leave it to the courts to decide the hardship, it is case to case they will decide. And we have seen most of the time that women who are divorced, they become destitute. So it is very essential for the government to safeguard the future of the women. And Mr. Arun Jaitley has also suggested some amendment, correction in it. He has given it to the government, and this basically the residential house for the women and alimony. And I feel when government is bringing such a legislation, I can understand the spirit behind it, why government brought, because you know there is a long history. From 1978 this suggestion was coming from the law department, and they made the law commission's report. So it is going on. But the main thing is here that you must see that the women are not left high and dry, and they get the alimony and they get the house to live in, because then they don't have any house, and the children, not only children but adopted children's future is secure, and they get the money for their upkeep.
Right.
The other thing which I feel, another thing is which
I'll just get Renuka Chaudhary, ma'am, to react to the points you raised as well, then we can come back to that. Renuka Chaudhary, the opposition to it, making some reasoned points as well. Is the government going to include that in the new amendments, or has some of this already been considered, and does it defeat the purpose of the bill in a sense? Because in a way you...
It depends on how you look at it. It is a very complex situation. There are lots of young women today who are very clear, couples, who are very clear that they don't want to hang on with each other, especially when there's no property to be divided, and that they're earning individuals, and that they've said thank you and bye-bye, and that they're forced to cohabitate and live together, and that there is also that point of view. But I think the nicest point in this whole amendment is that adopted children have been given the same status as biological children, and that protects the children. That's separate, of course. But you know, Sonia, for all that we talk and all that we do, ultimately it depends on the judiciary for them to be gender sensitive and to understand how imperative it is for them to quickly take a judgment. Now we can't, I do believe we must congratulate Salman Khurshid, the minister, for bringing this about and looking at it, and he is holding his horses where he's taking the inputs from several people, because this is not about political parties, it is about 55% of 50% of this population.
No, it's about all the population as well,
yes,
because
absolutely.
the men as well are affected.
Yes.
No,
but I'll tell you, at the end of the day, justice is so slow and so excruciating that the woman is left exasperated and fed up. Now, we tried to cover a lot of that under the DV Act, where we protected her under the Domestic Violence Act, and we ensured that she had a place to stay, that she can't be turfed out of her home, that she can't be separated from her children, that she will be given certain amount of money to live with. We did that, but then who implements it?
Do you have the NDTV Profit app? All the markets, all the news and your own homemade, ready-made portfolio available there for you.
We will right now answer what you should sell, what you should buy when markets are down.
Download at ndtvprofit.com/apps. Get the best app from the channel you trust.